What's up, guys? It's Michael here. In this video, we're gonna look at 5 regrets that some people regret that did not do when they were younger. So these are usually based on entrepreneurs who are successful, and a lot of people come back and ask them, what do they regret when they were younger? And one of them, which are a millionaire now, is at the age of 37. So now he's coming back and come back to CNBC, make it, and explain to people what are 5 things that he regrets that he wished he could have done earlier. So when I looked at this topic, the first thing you should do is click the like button down below and the subscribe button so YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video. But on serious case, is the 5 things that usually help them that want to propelled his career earlier if he practiced these. So when I looked into it, these are actually the 5 things that I utilize myself, and a lot of people should utilize also because it's very basic. All at the end, it really has to do is your emotion. First is your emotion, is what you think and how you react. And number 2 is your choice of wording. So a lot of people say vocabulary is a really big factor in how you become in life. And I have to, a lot of people, like including myself, before I was an entrepreneur, didn't agree with them. It's like, this is ridiculous. What have words to do with what you do in the future? But actually, words play a big role. Like communication courses and communication class in college play a huge role on how people react to you and what type of response you want to get. It's actually a big deal. And now, since I've got older, I regret that some of these word choices I should have chose. So we're gonna break down the main 5 things you should do or you're gonna regret later on in life. And the first one, which I thought was really interesting because I started practicing this more than ever, especially if you are a new person in a job. So the first thing he mentions is say yes more than you say no. Say yes more than you say no. So when this applies this concept to businesses and lifestyle, meaning is when you go talk to a teacher, if you're a college student, you go and talk to a teacher, they ask you to do something. And most of the time, just say yes more often than you say no. Because when you tell them yes, the first signal is, you give the signal to the other person is, you want to learn. Number 2, you know that you want to do it. Maybe he's like, oh, you have interest in my topic. Maybe I'll share you more ideas. For example, you want to open a new business. You go work in a similar business, a similar competitor in their niche without telling them that you're doing the same thing. And you basically say yes to almost everything they want you to do. When it comes to business, it helps you learn the strategic traits of that business and open up to new opportunities. So basically, when they say yes and you do basically after work, after hours, like for example, your boss asks you to work overtime without extra pay. If you say yes, number 1, is first, they think they're taking advantage of you. Number 2, but in the same time, you can be like a sheep acting like a tiger. Meaning, you basically pretend to play a sheep when you're actually a tiger. You learn all the information from them. So later on, when you start your own business, you can use that on your own advantage. So when you say yes, it gets the other person thinking that, hey, maybe this guy wants to do more work. Hey, this guy wants to learn. And they don't mind teaching you the secret traits behind their business. So going down to number 2 is stop trying to keep up with the competition. This one is true too, because let's look at it this way. When you work for a big firm, for example, if you are an engineer, you are a CPA, you're a lawyer, you work for the major law firms, the major accounting firms like KPMG, PwC, big industries for engineering, for you're looking at Google, Apple, Microsoft, you work for them, and all of a sudden you want to start your own business. The first thing which he wants everyone to know is don't compare yourself to them. Meaning is don't always look down on yourself. Give yourself some inspiration. It's affecting your emotions and how you think. So if you don't compare yourself to them, what you should do, they say that you should focus on your own potential. Meaning is you don't want to do your things just to impress people. For example, you don't want to buy a car like a Ferrari or McLaren just to impress friends or guests. You want to buy it because you want one and you like it. You don't want to buy it just to impress people. If that's the case, it's not helping you out. So the first thing for this part is mainly focus on yourself, what you like to do. If you cannot figure out what you like to do, then go outside and touch some grass or go outside, touch some concrete and just feel it out. What would you like to do in the future? Let's say 5 to 10 years from now, what you see yourself you want to be. That's the main expectation. Focus on yourself instead of focusing on pleasing other people. That's the main part, number 2, when he wants to explain to a younger audience and younger generation, including I learned things myself that this entrepreneur has taught me, because I'm always trying to learn new things. Going down the list, number 3, he mentioned is make decisions for yourself and stop trying to please everyone. So this is really interesting because this one's really hard to practice. Even I try to practice myself, because if you are 18, or let's say you live with your parents or family, which majority of people in the United States do now, because thanks to raising inflation and really expensive housing costs and jobs not matching up with inflation, it's really hard to get a new place and move out. Really simple. And a lot of people say it's easier said than done. Get a job. But if you get a job, if you're not getting paid enough, you can't live in the other place. So this one I'll say is the most difficult to practice out of the 5 reasons that you should practice before you get old and regret it, is making decisions for yourself than trying to please others. So the hardest part of this is, first, you have to show that you are willing to go that effort. Meaning is, whatever you're doing, you have to explain to the other party, or basically, if the other party's a close relative or family member, you explain to them, this is plan A, B, and C. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to make money from it. And this is how I'm going to survive and thrive from it. If you say you got to do this without a plan, most of the time they will reject you. So that is one of the first things that you should do if you're trying to convince a close family, friend, or member. So if you're living in the same house as a family member and you don't want to go to high school, then you got to explain to them, what do you want to do? So in this other case, this can also apply is there's a random person or like a teacher, they tell you, you should just go to school, get a college degree. Maybe you should apply for my college and take out like a $50,000 loan. Then that's another case where you can just say, no, you don't want to do it. And you don't have to explain to them, because you're not obligated to tell them what you want to do in the future. But keep that in mind, try to think for yourself at times. And this one is trying to state that sometimes you want to make a decision to yourself to make yourself happy, not to please others. Similar to number 2. So going down the list to number 4, slash your spending and try to save more than 50% of your income. So this mainly applies to anyone 18 and over in America who are working. So if you're working a part-time job, instead of spending all your money, save 50% of it. If you are playing, let's say, gacha games like Genshin Impact or Punishing Grave Raven, PGR, instead of spending like all that money that you earn from working, then save half of it, then spend the other half for yourself. So I make a lot of video topics similar to this, such as clicking the subscribe button down below and a like button. But in serious cases, this is basically a similar concept of saving money and investing the rest in differences. It's pretty simple, straightforward. I can't iterate it enough to everyone watching this video. Going down to number 5, and a final one, is be more self-aware and practice EQ. So this one is pretty interesting. This one is similar to the law of attraction. A lot of people say, law of attraction is BS. And at the same time I think some of it's BS and some of it, it does make sense. Because you can actually practice it yourself. Meaning is, you have to basically, instead of people looking down on you, you take an IQ test. You take an IQ test. Your IQ score is not high. It doesn't mean that you will not be successful in the future. It can also mean that people who have super high IQ, like over 100, like 120, can be homeless in the future. You never know. You never know who is going to be the winner at the end. Just because your cousins, your friends or family, or maybe other people, your friends, are making more money than you, or basically living the life that you want, doesn't mean they will stay like that forever. The main thing take away from this is EQ. Instead of IQ is EQ, emotional quotient. Meaning is, instead of intelligence level, you want emotional stability. Meaning is, how do you handle your emotions? How do you handle your failures? How do you handle a success? Same thing. Your emotions dictate what you want to do in the future. It dictates your path forward. So these are the 5 things that this entrepreneur had an interview with CNBC Make It, stating these are 5 things that he regret. And looking at these 5, I agree with all 5 of them. And I believe everyone should practice this themselves. If you're going to watch this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I really hope that people practice mentally more than physically, how to be more mentally stable and make better decisions and save more money and invest in themselves. That's it for this video. Hope you guys like this video. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.